Bengal, Mumbai, Karnataka, Jharkhand, Assam Cricket Association, Bihar, Punjab, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh and Delhi. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Nishant Dayal and the Dayal Foundation, please. Okay. Kindly settle down and we'll get going with our final session. Absolutely rocking final session. Trisha, I'll need my 3 clips. Super. 3 champions in the house. 3 legends in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get going. Okay, let's start. 2001, 11th to the 15th of March in Kolkata. India had been bundled out in 3 days at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. 3 days. Steve Waugh's Australian team had won 15 test matches in a row. Nishant, बाद में बात करना, अभी मैं पैनल शुरू करने वाला हूं. Yeah, 15th of March, Kolkata, 120,000 people at the Eden Gardens. 120,000. That Australian side, I don't know how it happened, I covered that game. Second day, ladies and gentlemen, India won 28 for 8. And we were walking out of Eden Gardens, going home, saying this match is done. Australia will once again beat India in 3 days. 3 gentlemen who will be on the panel and one who we will play clips from, and the rest of the team thought otherwise. Harbhajan Singh, 33 wickets in that series. Zahir Khan from that match onwards, becoming a phenomenon who went on to win India a series in England as well in 2007. One of the greatest bowlers of that period who won many a match, including that 5 for 27 against Pakistan in 1999 during the World Cup in England. These are architects of the Indian cricketing revolution of sorts. Put your hands together. I remember that first interview of mine with Harbhajan Singh, and I said, what will you do? The man of the series. And he said, बहनों का शादी करवाना है. That Bhaji to this Bhaji, member of parliament, darling of the media, has become a phenomenon in his own right. But he's not changed as a person. 5 months back, I had requested him to come to this conclave. In one instant, he said, time bata do, date bata do, lock kar dete hain. Put your hands together for Harbhajan Singh. Aajao sir. Bhaji has been an absolute champion and a great friend. You know, I've not seen anyone in India bowl as well as this man. Left-handed running in 150 Ks. Saurav Ganguly says 150 Ks when he came in. That Nairobi 2000, that series, the Champions Trophy, amazing. For a period, led the Indian attack on his shoulders. We had Zahir Khan was our answer. One of the best coaches. BCCI has entrusted both of them to groom the next gen at the NCA. Put your hands together for Zahir Khan. If you take Indian cricket moments, any moment in Indian cricket, Venkatesh Prasad telling Amir Sohail, that's your place in the pavilion, will be a picture postcard moment. From then on to bringing the IPL back to the Chinnaswamy, a huge distance travelled by this man from being cricketer to administrator. Put your hands together for Venkatesh Prasad. And to do the panel with me, a dear friend of mine, someone who covered that test match as a much younger journalist. He and I keep comparing notes, what happened that day in Kolkata, 11th to 15th March. Put your hands together for my colleague, Shomik Chakraborty. Hi. We'll just sit on either side. Okay. So, so Saurav is in London, and this is what Saurav has to say. So we've got 3 clips, which I asked Saurav about this test match, about Bhajju, and about Zahir. So clip number 1 about the test match. Can we play the clip, please? It's a 1-minute
test match,
clip.
I think. And I always said that, even after that, I don't know whether we can repeat that again. I don't think anybody can repeat that again, especially that Australian side. So, as I said, it's destiny, it's God's will, and I look at it that way because we were down and out in the test. Australia got almost 400, I think.
445.
440, and we were 190 all out.
171.
171 all out. And from there to get to 600 in the second innings and then come and win a test match is a fairy tale. So I don't have a recipe for that. I don't have a line to say how I did it because I did not do it. It just happened, and it will be one of probably the greatest test match I've ever been part of. I've been part of some fascinating test matches. I think Adelaide in 2003,
Yeah.
2003 in Adelaide when Australia got 400 on day 1 of the test match batting first. Not many teams will give the team, whether it's India or England or South Africa, the team batting second to win a test match, and we went on to win on the 5th day in Adelaide. So there were some remarkable victories, even when we went to Headingley to win. Chasing Sri Lanka that time, and that Sri Lanka.
Stop this. Give me the one on Harbhajan, and I will start with Harbhajan. Give me the one on Harbhajan.
He's phenomenal.
That series?
He's my brother. He's my family. Tremendous guts, character, fight. It was unbelievable. I'll tell you a small story about Harbhajan. Not that test match because he was a young Harbhajan coming in. He got 13 wickets that test match. We were playing in Colombo in 2002 in Colombo Champions Trophy. So it was a semi-final against South Africa.
There was South Africa total control, and
South Africa were 190 for 1.
I covered that game.
Chasing 260 or 270, I think. I came up to Harbhajan and gave him the ball, probably 40th over. So I was setting my field. So I put deep square leg, deep point, long on, long off. He came up to me and said, "What field is this?" I said, "Why?" He said, "तो ऐसे हार जाएंगे इसमें. आप पॉइंट ऊपर करो, मैं ऊपर करो." मैंने कहा चौका निकल गया तो जल्दी हार जाएंगे. इधर देखते हैं. He got 2 wickets that over, and we came back and won. Not because he's got wickets. He got wickets all his life because that's how good he was. It's the attitude that I am. You may be captain, but I know what I'm doing, and this is how I want to do it. And that's how you win cricket matches. So Harbhajan Singh for me will be one of the greats. As he got older, he started bowling even better outside India, in South Africa and England. The test match in England in 2002 at Headingley, he bowled as good as Anil Kumble, and we won the test match.
Obviously that test match has to be the greatest ever played on Indian soil, but I think a bit of backdrop is necessary. Australia came here, as you already mentioned, on the heels of 15 test wins on the spin, and it would become 16-0 at Wankhede, but before that, the team selection. And Saurabh lost his best bowler before the series, Anil Kumble. At the selection committee meeting, the selectors gave him Sharandeep Singh, and going by the hard numbers, Sharandeep was India's best off-spinner at that time, taking wickets in domestic cricket. And Bhajju was not in the scheme of things, basically. And the selectors picked the squad. Saurabh took the shit, struck down Sharandeep Singh, and wrote Harbhajan Singh. So basically, it went by the. So, Bhajju, my question to you. You are the youngest member of that squad. When you got into the side, and it has so many big players also, and huge pressure in the dressing room, what was the thought process like, and how was the dressing room atmosphere like?
Good evening, everyone. First of all, lovely to be here, back in Kolkata. Obviously, one of my favorite place to be. Whenever I come here, those memories comes to my mind. And I'll come to your question, what you just asked. There is slight correction I want to make that in that domestic season, I was the highest wicket taker, not Charandeep Singh. I played 4 domestic games and took about 28 wickets. And the second best spinner was Nilesh Kulkarni. I think he took 12 wickets for that season. So that difference was, you can see what was the difference amongst the spinners. So my performance was there to get me going. But of course, there were a lot of hurdles. Selectors were not in my favor. Charandeep Singh, he's my brother. He was there already in the team, and he didn't have the best of the series against Zimbabwe. And of course, Anil Bhai got injured. And, John Wright, that somebody to come into the team and who can pick wickets. And they saw all the stats and everything. They called all the spinners from India to bowl in the nets. And in the nets, I was probably bowling the best. That's what they believed. And, then Saurabh insisting the selector that he's in form, he's taking wickets in domestic cricket. And I want him in the team. And he also played a bit of test cricket beforehand. I played about 8 test matches. Not very good record, but a normal record for a newcomer. But, that's how I got selected. And of course, you need at that point of a time somebody to hold your hand and say, look, I'm there for you. And, that support was required, and Saurabh was there for me. And of course, with all the wickets and all the cricket we played together, everybody in that game in Eden and also in Chennai, I think it was a combined effort, and I didn't let him down for picking me. And I'm sure even in the end, he would say he picked the right guy.
Bajut, same question for you and then Zach and Venki, all of you. I mean, you start and then Zahir and Venkatesh can also answer. First to you and then to both of them. When did you think you can win? Because that was the first ever match I covered in the press box. I came from England, I was doing my PhD, I came into Calcutta, I covered that match. It was my first match as a journalist that I covered. 128 for 8, day 2. 128 for 8, Australia 445, game done. When did you all start to believe that, this can happen? We can win. We can win.
I think on that 5th day, when we had that total on the board, that's when we started to believe that we have the target on the board. And if we bowl well, we can get them out. And knowing Australia, they will come aggressively. We didn't know how much to give them. And that was the reason, they keep delaying further and further. And I wasn't really part of that discussion anyways. But I think that was the only discussion, that when to declare, when not to declare. But we were all ready to bowl, me, Zach, Venki Bhai. We were all ready to bowl, and it was their decision. Of course, those 74, 76 over was enough on the 5th day. I think we bowled pretty well. We took our chances, we took our catches. And I think it was a combined effort, not just my effort, but I believe those catches Shiv Sundar Das took at short leg, Sadagopan Ramesh, Rahul Dravid, and everyone involved. They gave their best shot to win that historic test match. It wasn't just my test match. I think that test match gave us the belief as Indian that we can beat Australia. And once you get that kind of a belief, when Rahul scoring that big century and VVS scoring that big 100, double 100, I think that was the key moment. That those kind of moments give you that belief that we can do it. That's where, I am sitting in, and I'm also writing in the same in my book. Whatever little I know, now my memory is becoming Gajani. So before I forget anything, I think I'll write whatever, I have. I might have to hear their version. Zach was with me throughout the, conversation when that partnership was happening. We were the only one, we were sitting inside. So rest of the guys were outside. And, after the first inning, when we got out on that placid wicket where they scored 400 and we got out at 170, and everybody was so quiet in the dressing room, and he came up to me, "Itna sannata kyun hai bhai? Dressing room mein itna sannata kyun hai?" बट वो सन्नाटा कैसे वो शोर में बदला, it's a brilliant story. You know, I think probably the best test match I have ever been part of. You know, I think that test match gave us the belief that we can do it. If we can do it against these guys, we can do it against anybody.
Zahir, same question. कैसे बदला भाई सन्नाटा शोर में?
I think I remember Chetan Chauhan was our manager, right? At that time. And in the morning of fourth day, at the beginning of that day, he had a chat, right? Like with the whole team, and he said, "पूरे दिन out नहीं होना है." And we were actually, obviously, you know, we've been following on. When we are forced to follow on with the might of Australia, as you mentioned, you know, 15 wins on the trot before they got here to India, winning that first test match in Mumbai, and forcing us to follow on in the second test. Obviously, it was not going to be easy even to believe that the fight back can be on. But I think Lakshman and Rahul, the way they batted session by session, it just kind of, the belief went on increasing, and it reached a point, you know, where we had gone past their score, and then we were like, okay, ab kitne chahiye कि जिससे मैच बन सके. And then, you know, the lead kept on accumulating until end of fourth day. We felt that, okay, now we can put them in. How many overs we should bowl to get them out? You know, so that's how the game turned. So it was very unthinkable till that point. But I think on the fourth day, things just session by session went on, and spell by spell went on improving our belief, improving how we are looking at the whole game. Eventually, it reached to a point where we knew that, okay, we can't lose this game. You know, we went in that position in the game, and rest is history. I think, you know, once we got to that level, it was very difficult for Australia to turn things around in that game.
Same question.
जस्ट सॉरी वेंकी, हम लोग तीनों ही थे. जब चेतन चौहान साहब ने कहा था ना कि पूरा दिन आउट नहीं होना है, तो वेंकी ने भी कहा, मैंने भी, उन्होंने कि हमारी बारी आएगी तो हम नहीं होंगे, बैट्समैन हो जाएंगे तो हम क्या करें.
Hi, good evening. Yeah, it was quite interesting and quite tensed. You know, there was a lot of sessions, you know, where we were put on a lot of pressure. I think you know, what I remember is about the first innings when we were batting. Yeah, I think the best partnership in the first innings was between Lakshman and myself, I suppose. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we forgot about
yeah.
that. Huh?
So sorry.
We forgot about that.
So it was a 43-run partnership, if I remember right. And I kept on telling Lakshman, you know, don't worry about me. I will make sure that I won't throw away my wicket. I'll be there on the pitch, and you just continue, because he was batting at 50 odd runs and he was playing pretty well. And I said, by, you know, any way we need to avoid this follow on. I think that's something which we were discussing in the middle. But that didn't seem to happen, and of course Lakshman was the last batter to get out. And yeah, the master stroke was from the captain, you know, was promoting Lakshman to number 3. I think that was the master stroke of the game. And having said that, I think both their partnership was extremely inspiring for the whole team. It just lifted the whole team. Can you just believe it? The fourth day, playing the whole day without losing a wicket and scoring runs at will. I think these guys did extremely well. So, and obviously, Baji, the way he was bowling, it was superb. I was just watching, because I was standing at either mid-on or a mid-off. Okay, so for the left-right combination. So I was watching him bowl, the loop, the turn, the spin that he was getting, or the bounce that he was getting. It was just unbelievable. Incredible bowling with a lot of revolutions. I mean, I've not seen any spinner bowling that way. And it was also turning so much. The other thing that I remember, why I'm saying that is because it was turning so much, because Hayden was playing extremely well on day 5. I think probably he got out after tea, if I remember. And just before tea, since it was turning so much, and I was standing at mid-off, okay, obviously a left-hander when he plays for an off-spinner, it tends to go towards extra cover. It goes towards extra cover. With the spin, trying to play it through cover, so it goes extra cover. So I was positioning myself, based on the turn or the bounce or what he was trying to, what Bhaji was trying to bowl and where the ball might come. So pretty much I was standing in extra cover. Without telling anybody, I was trying to adjust myself to the spin of the ball. So I was standing at extra cover, and I was looking at the crowd pretty much. My background was the crowd, because he was bowling from the far end. You're bowling from the far end, if you remember that. So just before tea, there was an opportunity.
Yes, and so
There was an opportunity at mid-off, and I was standing in, and I dropped that catch. Can you believe it? And it was so crucial that we had to get Hayden out. Because throughout the series, I think he played superbly well, including Chennai as well, later on in the third test match. But having said that, it was extremely important to dismiss him. And I dropped the catch because I could see the ball that he hit in the air. Once he played that, through covers, it was in the air, and it was also swerving, just going outside like an outswing. Once a left-hander plays for the off-spinner. And I saw it for a brief moment, and then I lost it because the crowd was behind me, or rather in front of me. So I lost it, and it was a straightforward catch, fairly, in a precarious sort of a height. I dropped it, and that tea session, when we were there inside, it was hell for me. Because there was Ian Chappell, there was Ravi Shastri. I mean, obviously the commentary box were there right up about the players, and they were all coming down to talk about the session, how it went. And I'm inside with a hot and humid condition, sweating and feeling rotten because I had dropped a catch, right? And it kept on playing on the television. These two guys talking about the drop catch and how important it is to take those catches, and that sort of. I was feeling rotten, honestly. Yeah. And on top of it, when something like that happens, believe me, you don't want to be near the coach. Right? You don't want to be near the coach, especially John Wright. I mean, so he kept on coming, and one is I've dropped the catch, and these guys are talking about the drop catch, and you got to take those catches, blah blah blah, and John coming, Venky, you got to take those catches, man, So, but then the way it ended, the way Bhaji bowled, I think it was simply unbelievable. So it was as much as Bhaji's game. I mean, though we are celebrating the 25 years and also talking so much about Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman's batting, I would also like to say this belongs to Bhaji as well, this game, and also the series. The series also belongs to Bhaji, the way he bowled throughout the series. With 32, 34 wickets, I think he ended up. I think that was incredible.
Thank you. Just to add on to that, I think Sachin Tendulkar also bowled a superb spell. Taking those 3 important wickets was the key. Of course, we tried our other bowlers, didn't work, but Sachin always comes with wicket. Whenever he roll his arm, he bring that.
Shane Warne did not pick his googly.
Googly, leg spin, he's got everything. So those 3 wickets was as important as my 7 were. I think वो नहीं होते तो शायद वो मैच का रिजल्ट नहीं होता, because Hayden was playing seriously good.
Good that you didn't save the follow-on, because after that game, follow-on went out of the window. But whose decision was it to promote VVS up the order at number 3? Was it John's, or was it a collective decision?
Well, I would say, though, it was a collective decision, but the decision, would rest with the captain, yes or no. So finally, he's got to take the final call. So it was definitely, Saurav's decision. It's his responsibility, his duty to take those decisions, being a leader, being the captain. And I think he made a great call. I think that's what leaders are all about, isn't it? You got to make those calls at the right moment, which really worked in favor. And also, he was playing well. In the first innings, he was the one who got some runs, and he was in good nick. The right call to make him play at number 3.
Zach, ये बताओ, सौरभ उस दिन मुझे कह रहे थे, we've got a clip for you also, but he was saying that when y'all were celebrating in the dressing room, he said, once we won that match, Bhaju mentioned this, he said, I thought this team can't lose anymore in Chennai. That whatever now happens, because we were chatting in his house, and I said, what happened? What's the impact? He said, we stayed in the change room for 4-5 hours because there were thousands of people outside celebrating. But I thought to myself that as skipper, these boys can't lose Chennai. It transformed Indian cricket. Then he mentioned about you saying, after that, whether it's England, whether it's 2007, you became a phenomenon in your own right. So what happened to the change room in terms of belief?
Well, I think it was very early days for us as cricketers to embark on the journey at international cricket level. So when you're playing against a team like Australia those days, who were dominating, who's coming off such a record, and playing against them was a different task, isn't it? Like you will be pushed to the corner, and the only way for you to fight back or to come back from there is to look them in the eye and then make the charge. So that's the only way of playing with those kind of players, and that's what we did. I think the win was very important for us. The whole series was very hard fought. I think right throughout. If you see even the last game. Bhaji scored those winning runs in Chennai. I was batting before Bhaji, and I must have scored the most valuable 0, because I faced 30-35 deliveries, not scored runs, batted with Samir Dige, and our partnership was some 30 runs or something like that. So just to be there at the crease was very important, and then obviously Bhaji and Samir Dige got us home. We won the series in many ways for all of us, because we were just newcomers at the international level. It enhanced our confidence, yes, but also put us on the right track to know what is it going to take to be the world beaters. What is it going to take? What kind of attitude we must have? How we should look at the game? How we should never give up? All those attributes which make you a good cricketer just happened naturally by playing that series, I felt. I didn't play the whole series. I played 2 test matches. But just to be part of it, seeing Bhaji's success, seeing how Lakshman and Rahul made that fight back, and contributions all around. You rightly said that, our match winner in Anil Kumble was not there in that series. And yet we managed to have that kind of impact. There were a lot of spinners being tried in that series.
Yeah.
There were a lot of different combinations being tried. And what happened is it just kind of stabilized things going forward then. Because individuals were putting hand and saying that, okay, I'm ready to take this team to the next level. And that's what happened in the due course as we moved along.
Shomik?
Venki bhai, you have known Rahul since his age group days, and coming into that test match, he was under a lot of pressure. By his lofty standards, he was not scoring that many runs, and he was demoted in the batting order. And that innings came, and what happened going ahead, a legendary career unfolded. Do you think that knock or that test match was the turning point of his career?
Honestly, I myself have not played a lot of age group cricket, so I know him only after 19. So he was obviously part of the age group cricket, and he came up. Having said that, well, we played a lot of cricket for Karnataka, but then he was extremely focused, that is for sure. Extremely focused, and he never wanted to throw his wicket away. Yeah, in the beginning, obviously, beginning of his career, you tend to feel sort of bored watching his game, but that's what he's all about, trying to occupy the crease as long as possible and sweat it out and make the bowlers tire, so that's how he used to bat, and then probably score those runs. So his attitude or his focus, his concentration, I think was just next level, and he never wanted to throw his wicket, be it match or even in net sessions as well. So that's how we always practiced, and eventually you would get there. You would be right up there. When you have those good practices.
Maji, is this the best you bowled? माने आपने तो इतना मैच जिताया इंडिया को, पूरा करियर बहुत मैच जिताया, 400 विकेट, 500 विकेट, ये सब लेजेंडरी स्टैटिस्टिक्स आपके पास है, आप वर्ल्ड चैंपियन हो. बट वाज दैट सीरीज द बेस्ट दैट द बॉल वाज कमिंग आउट? हरभजन सिंह became हरभजन सिंह because of that series?
Yeah, I believe so. I think वो मेरे लिए वो करो या मरो वाली स्थिति थी कि अगर करते तो टीम में रहते, नहीं तो फिर सी यू लेटर, बाय बाय. कोई नहीं पूछता बाद में, ना सिलेक्टर ना कोई प्लेयर, कोई पूछता नहीं है. सवारी अपने सामान की खुद जिम्मेदार है, और आज भी वही है. तो ये इंडियन क्रिकेट है. तो शायद ऐसा आपको कोई और बोलेगा नहीं, क्योंकि मैं पहले भी ऐसा ही था, आज भी ऐसे ही. इस कारण बहुत बार मुँह की खानी भी पड़ी, बट अब तो क्या ही खानी पड़ेगी. बट एनीवेज मेरे लिए वो करो या मरो की स्थिति थी कि आई थिंक अगर इस सीरीज़ में नहीं अच्छा होता तो पता नहीं क्या करता. बट जब कलकत्ता आया तो इतना कुछ हो गया, तो उसके बाद फिर पता था कि आगे सब कुछ ठीक होना ही है. और कलकत्ता के बारे में हमेशा मैं कहता हूँ कि मेरा जन्म तो हुआ पंजाब में, लेकिन मैं क्रिकेटर बना यहाँ से, कलकत्ता से.
और ईडन गार्डन्स अगर मैं सोचूं, आपने वो मैच देख लो, फिर साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ वो 2010 वाला मैच, मॉने मोकल को आउट कर देना, इंडिया नंबर 1. कलकत्ता हैज़ बीन हरभजन सिंह.
या मेरी ज़िंदगी में कलकत्ता का उतना ही अहम रोल है जितना मेरे माँ बाप ने मुझे पैदा किया, ठीक है, और मेरी बहनों ने मेरे लिए अरदासें करी, मेरे दोस्त मेरे लिए खड़े रहे. और कलकत्ता अगर नहीं होता तो मेरे जीवन में क्या होता मुझे समझ नहीं आएगी. तो मेरे लिए कलकत्ता का बहुत बड़ा महत्व है. Every time I played here, I took 5 wickets. So it was like, if I am in form or not, you get me to Calcutta, I'll come in the form. So उस तरीके का था.
Zach, ये बताओ, after that, 2001, India goes to England, you win at Headingley. India goes to Australia, you win in Australia at Adelaide, you got 700 runs in Sydney, you were winning. 2007, you 18 wickets in that England series. I've never seen you bowl, but I mean that series, every ball seemed like you'll pick a wicket. I covered that game. India started winning overseas regularly. When you look back, did that kind of make Indian cricket and started that saga which continued and we became the force that we are?
Look, I've said this on many occasions that I felt that with Indian cricket, when you look back at the history of Indian cricket, every decade there were individuals who made sure that you've taken the team to the next level. They've laid the foundation for the new guys to then take it to the next level, build it again, and so on and so forth. I think for us, it was a conscious effort when we used to sit together in terms of setting the vision board, in terms of setting goals collectively which we want to achieve. I think winning overseas was something which was right up there, as important as winning a World Cup. And I think that was very important for all of us to believe in that. And then the process started like that. Then we used to have, we identified the areas which we needed to address for us to be successful overseas, be it lower order contribution. I remember John Wright had set up the pairs where the batters would pick their choice of the bowler, and they would work with the bowler to improve his batting, so that the lower order contribution can improve, and collectively the team benefits. And mind you, I'm talking about the days where we used to have only one physio, and that used to be pretty much it. The support staff, the support system which you see as the cricket has become more professional, and teams have evolved with a lot of the things, creating that environment which aids for your performance. You had to find different ways, and we were ready to do whatever it takes to make that impact. I think that's the beauty of our time, and we set goals, we found ways, and eventually you've seen the results as well. So I think, you know, when you're talking about the journey of India making that impact in terms of overseas wins and those numbers improving with every year passing, a lot of the work and planning had gone in that, and we feel very proud that we're able to make that impact and achieve things and lay that strong foundation for the next generation to come and then take things forward.
So when you start winning, what happens is, you know, it builds a lot of confidence and a lot of you know, faith in your ability, the belief in your ability, and also the team. You know, so you trust one another. I think these things start happening once you start winning. I think that's exactly what happened after you know, the Indian team won the test match here. From there onwards, so obviously I was out of the team by say about 2002. After that, when I came back into the team as a coach, you know, I saw you know, guys like Zach, who was new in 2000, 2001, if I can say that. I think he was a completely changed man, you know, with his understanding his ability, understanding his strength, and you know, being a leader in terms of making decisions about his bowling and also helping the others. So so much so that we won the Test series in 2006 against England.
7 in England, 6 in West Indies.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, so that is exactly what happens to the players when you start winning, be it in India or be it abroad. It brings in, you know, a lot of confidence and trust in each other and so on. So I think that's one of the reasons I think you need to keep on winning. And I think these guys were fantastic when I just got in as a coach, as a bowling coach then. These guys was just super. So I just had to, you know, have a nice environment. But most of the decisions, let me tell you honestly, was taken by the players. You know, how to bowl, how to react, what to do. You know, so they were so strong mentally, and they're amazing leaders, I should say.
A question to all of you: how do you assess Saurav as captain in terms of giving you the chance and backing them, and also John Kent from Kent, and he was the first overseas coach of the Indian cricket team. So something regarding his contribution to Indian cricket.
I think Dada was the best leader I have played under. There's no doubt about it. You know, I'm not saying just because I'm here in Kolkata, but everywhere I say this because he gave us the freedom to do what we need to do on the field. It didn't matter what you do on the field or off the field, but only thing what was required was to give your best shot. And for that matter, to win a game, do whatever you want to do. You know, you set your own field, bowl according to your own plan, and share your knowledge amongst others. You know, we were the young lot, me, Zach, we all came together, but he gave us so much of freedom to do what we needed to do and let ourselves explore, you know, what is happening around on that 22 yard. So I think Saurav was the perfect guy for someone like us. We were new, and I was a bit of indisciplined as well. You know, I wasn't the easy one to handle. Glad I had Saurav, Rahul, great Tendulkars around me who could shape my career in the right direction. You know, I was a bit of, you know, गुस्से वाला. तो बट ये है कि एक बार मैदान में घुस जाते थे तो सिर्फ एक ही चीज़ का जुनून था कि कैसे जीतना है, और उसके लिए दादा हमेशा कहता था जैसा है ना अच्छा है, भारत को यही चाहिए, वो लड़ना आना चाहिए, और जब तक नहीं लड़ेंगे जीतेंगे नहीं, और जब से लड़ना शुरू किया है अब हारते नहीं हैं हम.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Let me play one clip of Saurav for Zahir. I said, Zahir is coming. He said, play this. I said, are you sure you want him to hear this? He said, I am his captain. Play this. Play this. Zahir, you must listen to this. Chala do bhai.
Brilliant. Brilliant, but not easy to handle. Not easy to handle. You know, he had his own mind. But you know, at the end of the day, we were friends. They were young players. When he came in, he bowled 150. And then he started to swing it. In England, he was unbelievable in that trip in 2007.
Yeah, I've never seen him.
Oh.
Every ball seemed a wicket.
Every ball. A new ball when Strauss and Alistair Cook batted, although I got Alistair Cook out more than he did in that series. When it was only a matter of time. I used to stand in slips. Sachin first, Rahul second, and me third, or maybe second, third. Rahul used to sometimes go to mid-off because he was captain. And I used to watch Zahir bowl, and I was thinking, this ball's coming to me. This ball's coming to me. That's how good he was. And he used to get Strauss and everyone out, innings after innings in that test series.
These guys are being nice to you. There is a clip which they did not play where he says, Zahir, you must not have more biryani and must reduce weight. They've not played that clip. And he says, Zahir has to give a lot back to Indian cricket. And I started smiling. And he said, what? I said, you know, it applies to us as well. He said, nahi, Zahir ko bol de raha.
No, that's Dada's new favorite topic.
Ah.
New favorite topic because he's so conscious these days and
Yes.
making sure that everything is there. I was like, okay, अभी थोड़ा enjoyment चल रहा है, उसके बाद देखते हैं ना.
And then he started asking, तुम्हारा HbA1c कितना है, ये नंबर बताओ, वो ना. I said, यार इंटरव्यू दो ना. ये सब क्यों पूछ रहे हो भाई? खाना खाने तो he said, मिष्टी मत खाना. I said, अरे क्या?
You come to Calcutta and not to have biryani.
Of course you must.
कैसे possible है?
And he is telling me you turned 50. I said yes. He gives me a gift and this is mishti mat khana.
I recently met him and he gave me the full lowdown of how I should approach, what all things I must do, and and Bajji will second that or maybe give the answer that ball और दादा की रेस में कौन जीतता था?
बॉल जीतती थी क्योंकि दादा कहता था बॉल जा रही है तो जाने दो, उतने रन तो बना ही दूंगा मैं, डोंट वरी. तो
let's turn our focus to we've said to the journey since.
बोरिया वैसे seriously imagine if we have the similar kind of guys, the way they feel today. Imagine we have those kind of fielders.
कितना विकेट लेते तुम? 600 650?
पता नहीं कितना होता पर रन तो बहुत कम देते. तो
नहीं, but जब भी दादा की बात करते हैं तो Bajji was spot on actually. I think in different phase in your career you need different kind of a leader, and I think we were very lucky to have Dada around that time when we made our debuts because he was very approachable. You could actually argue with him, like even today.
He said that.
Yeah, even today we will have the disagreements, but he will listen to you and he will give you what you want. And I think that was the quality which defined him as a leader. To handle all these, because around 2000, 99, 2000, there were some 6-7 new guys must have walked in the team and they made their mark in their international careers, made that impact, contributed towards team success. But I think his contribution was immense in terms of being approachable, being very friendly, being able to give you that freedom to go out and express yourself.
Bajju has a story to tell.
I have a story about Dada. एक बार मुझे मैच नहीं खिलाया कहीं तो भी. I was taking so many wickets, but of course conditions were so friendly to the seamers and only one have to play, and of course great Kumble.
New Zealand में.
कहीं तो
No, that was South Africa at Bloemfontein, I suppose.
कहीं तो मैं खेला नहीं तो
Bloemfontein.
then I didn't talk to him for 4-5 days. और ऐसा कप्तान जो मतलब मेरे को खुद बुलाता है, छोटे कमरे में आना, तो मैंने कहा नहीं मैं नहीं आऊँगा दादा, रहने दो. फिर अगले दिन फ़ोन किया, अरे आना चाय बना रहा हूँ. मैं उस दिन गया, वो बोल रहा क्या हुआ यार, एक मैच है ना, ये कंडीशंस ऐसी हैं. तो मतलब हम नाराज़ भी हो जाते थे ना तो बंदा मनाता था, इतना प्यारा बंदा था. ही वॉज मोर लाइक ए ब्रदर. कप्तान तो था ही था, तो दादा का मतलब तो बड़ा भाई होता है, तो वो बड़े भाई वाला काम उन्होंने बिल्कुल 100% किया है.
Lovely stories.
और एक ऐसा कप्तान जिसके साथ मजाक भी कर सकते थे. हमने अप्रैल फूल बनाया था दादा का.
ये
अगर
खान
याद
बता
होगा
दीजिए.
तो अभी ये मैच था कोची में, इफ़ यू रिमेंबर ज़ैक, गजनी. सो आई थिंक हम लोग वहाँ पे मैच खेल रहे थे. वी डिसाइडेड दैट वी आर गोना से कि दादा आप लोगों ने ना मिलके क्या स्टेटमेंट दी है मेरे बारे में, जैक के बारे में, आशीष नेहरा के बारे में, यूवी के बारे में, कि ये यंगस्टर ये जो है ना रात रात पार्टियां करते हैं, ये प्रैक्टिस तो करते नहीं है, ये मेहनत नहीं करते हैं। तो हमने जाके ये शुरू किया। वी हैड सचिन ऑन आवर साइड, अनिल भाई ऑन आवर साइड, राहुल ऑन आवर साइड, एंड दे एक्टेड वेल। तो हमने शुरू किया कि दादा ये क्या, आप कुछ भी बोल देते हो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में। तो दादा सडनली क्या बोला रे, मैंने कहा दादा ये क्या है यार, कि जैक इनडिसिप्लिन है, मैं इनडिसिप्लिन हूँ, यूवी पार्टी करता है, ये क्या है। कहते भाई गॉड मैंने कुछ नहीं बोला, हमने पेपर कटिंग बनवाए हुए थे, वो सामने रख दिए, अब बताओ क्या है। और जैसे ही हमने कटिंग रखे, राहुल ऑल्सो, दादा दिस इज़ नॉट डन। उधर से सचिन ने भी बोला, दादी हाउ कैन यू डू दिस। तो जब दो लोग वो बोले ना, तो दादा कहते मैं अभी कप्तानी छोड़ दूंगा अगर मैंने ऐसा कुछ किया होगा। दादा इतना घबरा गया था कि उसको वाकई लगा कि बस ये आज आखिरी दिन है कप्तानी का। तो मतलब उसके बाद ये सब हुआ, 5-10 मिनट वो चला ड्रामा, बट इतनी अच्छी एक्टिंग सबने करी। पर बाद में बताया दादा अप्रैल फूल है, आज बार प्रैक्टिस करने चलते हैं।
Beautiful. 15 more minutes before we close, just to come to the modern day. Venki, great achievement here to get cricket back to the Chinnaswamy. How did you manage this? After the Stampede, President, you promised it, you've got it back, IPL at the Chinnaswamy. Round of applause for Venkatesh Prasad, man. Come on. Venki, tell us, how did you make it happen?
Thank you. Yeah, it was not easy. Had to work a lot, get all the government agencies together, and obviously, had to meet all the politicians from Chief Minister to Deputy Chief Minister to Home Minister, and then with our interest to get back the game after the unfortunate incident that happened on the 4th of June in Bangalore, just on the outside of Chinnaswamy Stadium. And it was not while playing the match, it was for other reasons. So it was not easy. Throughout our election campaign, the manifesto, bringing back cricket, international cricket or IPL and so on and so forth. So finally, making it happen was a huge task, and we have achieved it. And thanks largely to the government of Karnataka, as I mentioned, the chief ministers and so on and so forth. They were extremely supportive. And not just the government. I received a lot of support from the BCCI as well. They kept on talking to us. They were the line of communication was open between the association and BCCI, and we kept on giving them those reports saying that this is what is happening and so on. Here we are. The inaugural game of IPL 2026 is happening at.
Are you planning to do things
Chinnaswamy
different?
Stadium? Yeah.
Are you planning to implement new policies for the crowd management and stuff?
Oh, well, no, everything is open. Everything was, we did a lot of changes, of course, yeah, because there was a lot of recommendations from the one-man commission. I don't want to go too deep into it. So there's a lot of recommendations, and we have pretty much fulfilled a lot of them. And, we gave the government the phases in what phase that we finish it. So first phase, whatever we had said, we have accomplished it. And hence, the government is fine with it, the expert committee is fine with it, the BCCI is fine with it, and we are having the match on 28th of this month between RCB and the Hyderabad franchise. And of course, there is second phase and third phase as well. There's a lot of work. What I've seen in administration is, see, as a player, what happens is you're only in academies, you can give more opportunities, the whole state or the country, if you're in the big position there. So on and so forth. So I think that there's a lot that one can do as an administrator.
I'll ask one of Zach, and you can ask Bhaji. We've got about 10-12 minutes more. You want to ask? Go first.
I have a question for Zach. Zach, you recently went to COE to, to sort of guide the young crop of fast bowlers. So I just want to hear about your thought about the supply line as far as Indian fast bowling is concerned, because we have this Bumrah's workload management issue, and Shami is no longer in the scheme of things. So maybe we need a new set of fast bowlers. So what is your assessment as far as the future of Indian fast bowling is concerned?
Look, I mean, there are two aspects of this. One, I was requested to spend some time with the targeted bowlers which BCCI has currently on the roster. So made my time useful that way, just kind of helping them, guiding them, understanding how they are looking at it, where I can come into play with sharing my experiences. When you're looking at pan-India prospect of bowlers coming along, I think, we are sitting very pretty. I think there is enough talent in our country to be nurtured, to be guided, to be advised, and that way you've seen there's a lot of infrastructure also in place to a larger extent. It's just about creating more opportunities, as Venki was mentioning just now. I think more and more people coming in the administrative side of things who understand, who are close, who possibly have played the game, it's just going to enhance and maybe fast track this process of creating these opportunities, creating the platforms which is going to give opportunities to a lot of the guys who then you can take note of, and then set the processes which is going to really enhance and smoothen their journey of becoming top cricketers. I think we are sitting pretty with that. When you're looking at the talent pool, it's just about time and the right processes to follow, and you'll see some good results.
Maju, Gautam Gambhir was here in the afternoon, and we were speaking about red ball and the 50-over World Cup in 27. Saurav, in that interview, I played that clip, said that Gautam's real challenge will be 27 in South Africa. And he was talking about the dressing room culture and all of that. And I asked him that when the media, when the public says that you are against some players, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, does this kind of become problematic for you in the change room? And he said, he answered, he took all the questions. Now, and then I asked him, is it only performance? Or is it age? Is it what? How do you kind of, do you, when you look at this current side, you see the way Rohit has reduced and Virat and all of, do you see them in your scheme of things till 27? Do you give India a strong chance in South Africa? And your assessment of Gautam Gambhir as white ball coach?
Gautam, I think he's done a very good job with the team. No matter what people says, there are a lot of people who believe that there are a lot of chop and changes. And of course, everyone have different style of working. And Gautam, knowing him, closely, is a very, very sharp brain. He understands the game really well. He was a captain here. He made this team very, very successful. And I think when he took over as an Indian team coach, of course, you are in public's eyes. Everybody have, few things to say, whether good or bad. You have to kind of shut your ear and do what you need to do and focus on the target, and that's exactly what he has done. 2 साल बड़ा सुनना पड़ा, बट लेकिन जब रिजल्ट आए हैं तो वो सारे जितने बोल रहे थे ना, और वो सारे चुपचाप बैठे हुए हैं. सो गौतम गंभीर के बारे में मैं सिर्फ इतना ही कहूँगा, वो खेलते हुए मेहनती आदमी था, और आज भी उसकी मेहनत के बदौलत जो उसने करना चाहा, टीम का एक कल्चर डेवलप करना चाहा, वो कल्चर डेवलप किया है. एंड वी हैव सीन द रिजल्ट. टीम इंडिया लुक्ड लाइक द टीम टू बीट इन द कंपटीशन. इट जस्ट डोंट, ऐसे ही नहीं हो जाता है. इसके लिए आपका ड्रेसिंग रूम इज सो इम्पॉर्टेंट. हाउ यू टॉक टू द प्लेयर्स, हाउ यू मोटिवेट देम. Playing Abhishek Sharma till the end, even though he wasn't in the form, giving him that kind of a backing, bringing Sanju back in the scheme of thing. It goes on to show that he have great mind, and hats off to his team and the management, how they played this World Cup. I think we are all really proud of Gautam and his team, how well they have played. और दूसरा क्वेश्चन मैं भूल गया जो आपने कहा.
27 वर्ल्ड कप का, do you see, because मैंने उनसे पूछा था age and performance, but like when I see Virat and Rohit performing, it's still 1.5 years, but आप कैसे देखते हो?
See, I think as long as a player is performing and fit to play, I think you should pick them on their performances, not just on their age. I think age is just a number, but what they have is not many have, is the kind of experience behind them. I think if they're playing well, if they're fit enough, India should pick them straight away.
We have two fast bowlers on the panel. I would ask both Venki Bhai and Zach about Jasprit Bumrah. I mean, the hard numbers are already there. But Jasprit Bumrah as a fast bowler and India producing a fast bowler like Jasprit Bumrah, how do you look at it? First Venki Bhai and then Zach.
That's a great sign, isn't it? That India keeps producing, players. It's not just fast bowlers, players, be it batters or spinners or fast bowlers. So everybody were saying, obviously, at one time, who after Kapil, then came Srinath, then who after Sri, then came Zach, then Ashish or Ishant, and after that who, Shami was there, and his partnership with Bumrah. If you look at all these bowlers, whoever I mentioned now, I think they just keep it so simple. They don't experiment much. They just beat a T20 or a ODI or a test match. They just keep bowling the same line and length. They don't change much. That's something which I'm not seeing with a lot other fast bowlers. They try to experiment a bit too much. They try to do a bit too many things, not understanding their own strength. Whereas the names that I mentioned just now, I think if you look at their career, look at their bowling, their lines and lengths, or the wicket taking, where they've taken those wickets, it is either bowl, corded slip, or LBW. So they just make sure that they keep it very simple, and they're obviously, all the names that I've mentioned, their seam presentation was just incredible.
Zahir, are you worried about India's red ball? I asked Gautam, he said, look, transition is something I have not publicly spoken about, but you've got to take into account transition. If you compare the team that played New Zealand to the team that played South Africa, you will know how much experience is missing. Are you, say, pitches, do you need to play on turners? Can you play on good pitches? In England, we played on good pitches, we did well. Are you worried about red ball? And this is not my statement, this is Saurav's statement. Saurav says, quote, he says, Gautam should take the wicket out of his mind. He played on good wickets in England, he had great results. India should not play on turners. Your formula for India's red ball?
I think when you're talking about test matches, when you're talking about red ball cricket, what is important is the stability, I feel. The more stability you have, identify the players, but you'll have to give them long rope. I think, it's something which is very important when you're talking about red ball cricket. It's important that when you're going through this transition, you're rightly saying, approach the game, set. Often you talk about go back to basics. So you just go back to basics of playing test cricket, right? 2 innings, you got to take 20 wickets. You know that you got to bat long hours and approach the game session by session. All those basic things which you often talk about. Set those kind of goals and then let it simmer. I think, the more patient you are with going back to basics and keeping it simplified, approaching it that way, and understanding that, okay, which are the individuals right now which are going to be the match winners. Understandably so that that once you have a few spots which are opened up, individuals are going to put their hand up and say that, okay, I'm ready, right? So you got to identify to the best of your ability and knowledge or instincts that, okay, these are the individuals which are going to make that impact for the test team, and then you just follow the process, keep it simple, and give some time. I think, once you are able to do that, you will see the tide turning around.
Okay, last 3-4 minutes. Let me give all my 4 panelists here. Bhaji, one minute each, एक story from that Kolkata match जो आपको याद होगा. सब तीनों को पूछेंगे, आप, वेंकी और जहीर, and then Shomik also because he covered. एक story from that Kolkata test match 2001 जो आप कभी भूलोगे नहीं. उस मैच का एक story.
उस मैच का नहीं स्टोरी है, बट जिस दिन मैंने हैट्रिक ली थी वो एक स्टोरी ऐसी है कि जब मैं यहाँ कलकत्ता आया था उस मैच से पहले, हार्डली मेरा कोई नाम था, कोई मुझे जानता नहीं था, बट जब कलकत्ता छोड़ा है तो पूरा हिंदुस्तान जानता था ये हरभजन सिंह कौन है। एक तो ये पहचान मिली यहाँ से मुझे, और एक जो सबसे बड़ी चीज़ मुझे लगता है हुई, वैसे हमारी टीम बस में तेंदुलकर साहब सबसे आगे बैठते हैं, इस तरफ दादा बैठते थे, तो मेरा तीसरा नंबर पे मैंने सीट एक ली थी। सबकी सीट अपनी अपनी पक्की है, सबने वहीं बैठना है, और उसमें ऐसा नहीं है कि आप एक दिन इधर बैठ गए, आप एक दिन इधर बैठ गए। नॉर्मली जब आप जाते हो होटल में, तो जब सचिन उतरते हैं ना, तो लॉबी भरी होती है, सचिन के लिए बहुत आवाज़ होती है, बहुत तालियां बजती है। बट उस दिन, जिस दिन हैट्रिक ली थी, उस दिन सचिन से ज़्यादा तालियां मेरे लिए बजी थी। तो वो मन को ऐसी तसल्ली हुई कि यार जितनी सचिन के लिए तालियां बजती हैं, ये उतनी वाहवाही आज मुझे मिल रही है, आज तो कुछ खास हुआ है। और वो तब जाके महसूस हुआ जब मैं कमरे में पहुंचा हूं, तो वहाँ पे वाजपेयी साहब का ऑलरेडी फैक्स मेल आ रखा था मेरे पास कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करने के लिए। तो मैंने कहा वाह, एक कहाँ से शुरू किया था सफ़र और आज किस मुकाम पे बैठे हैं कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री आपको बधाइयाँ दे रहे हैं। तो ये छोटी सी स्टोरी थी जो दिल को बहुत लगी कि आज कुछ किया है।
बहुत बहुत अच्छा। Zahid, before I go to Venki, Shomik, you will get yours as well.
See, for me, I think the real story of that series after Lakshman and Dravid's that whole day batting knock, you know, has to be Bhaji. There is no doubt about that. 32 wickets in that series, making a comeback. I'll share a story of Bhaji just before the series. If he remembers, you know, he had come to Delhi. Zimbabwe का जो टेस्ट मैच चल रहा था, bowling के लिए आया था. I think you're staying with Ajit because he had some game to go to. UV was also there and he was going for that run. And he was मतलब बहुत ऐसे होता है ना कि बहुत ज़्यादा परेशान था कि क्या होगा क्या नहीं, पता नहीं, कि लाइफ ऐसे मकाम पे थी कि कहाँ यहाँ से कहाँ जाएगा ये पता नहीं था वैसे. तो उस टाइम जब ये टीम में आने के लिए उसने मेरे को एक अपना बैग दिखाया था कि एक वन बैग ही इज़ टू कैरी. you'll remember that. बिल्कुल टूटा फूटा सा था बैग ऐसे, लेकिन कहता है कि ये बैग ना मुझे हमेशा याद दिलाता है कि मेरे स्ट्रगल के डेज़ क्या है. मतलब जब तक ये 32 विकेट्स लेने पे आया ना, चेन्नई में जितना हम टाइम बिताते गए साथ में और आपको ज़्यादा जानने मिलता है आपके कलीग के साथ, तो उस टाइम तो कलीग था लेकिन फिर बिल्कुल अच्छा यार बन गया. तो उस टाइम फिर ये स्टोरी सुना रहा था कि मैंने कहा यार ये किट बैग में क्या रखा हुआ, तो ये कह रहा है कि देख इतनी अच्छी सीरीज़ गई है, लेकिन ये चीज़ हमेशा मुझे याद दिलाती है कि मेरे स्ट्रगल वाले दिन क्या थे. सो दैट बैग आई थिंक आई एम श्योर ही मस्ट बी कैरिंग इट स्टिल. It used to be always in his kit bag and that kept him grounded. तो वो जो सीरीज़ है ना, वो जुनून के कितना करो या मरो का जैसे उन्होंने बताया ना, तो वो हम सब देख चुके हैं कि कितना badly he wanted to achieve, कितना badly he wanted to perform in that series and Team India benefited.
Venki, आपका एक स्टोरी.
Yeah, see, I've already shared a couple of stories like my partnership with Lakshman or a drop catch on day 5 just before tea. What I remember about this series is it was full of changes in the bowling aspect. The first test match we lost at Mumbai, so there was Shri, Ajit, Rahul Sangvi, they all played, and once we lost, the bowling the lineup completely changed for the second test match. It was Zach, me, Venkatpati Raju came in, okay, and of course Baji. I don't remember. Baji, did you play the first test match?
Yeah.
Okay, so Baji was the only common factor.
5 wickets.
Yeah, survivor.
और last test match में सिर्फ मैं था.
And last match again everything got changed where I was dropped. Venkatpati Raju was dropped after winning the test match. It was Zach alone, the lone warrior. And Nilesh Kulkarni, Sairaj Gokhale, everybody. So when we lose a test match, in those days what used to happen is when we lose a test match, it is not because of the bowlers. Whatever it is, the bowlers would get changed. They would change the bowlers. I mean, you can't touch a Rahul Dravid, you can't touch a Saurav Ganguly, you can't touch a Sachin Tendulkar or a VVS Lakshman. So who is the scapegoat? Okay, drop the bowlers. So that's how it was actually. So all 3 test matches, it is different lineup, and I would like to say one more thing. We won the test match. The team was not decided. They had not announced the team. We had to fly the same evening. Yeah, I suppose it's the same evening that we flew to Chennai. So the whole team left, and nobody knew the team, right? And we have checked into the hotel in Chennai, and then we got to know the team that I am not there and Venkatpati Raju is there. So we have flown to Chennai to play the test match, but we are not in the team, and then we had to go back to our respective places. So that's how it was.
Show me your story.
Tongue firmly ensconced in check, we as reporters contributed in a small way to that win. What happened? I mean, even after the declaration, very few thought that Australia, that famed Australian batting lineup, would fold up inside 5 hours. And also in Calcutta, you know, it gets dark pretty early. So what happened? After Justin Langer got out, Mr. Dalmia, who was the board president, then Mr. Jagmohan Dalmia, came to the press box for a customary meet and greet. And he came and sat, and Justin Langer got out. And we ensured he was there until the last wicket fell.
Okay, my 30 seconds before we close. S.K. Bansal was the umpire. And he told me this story later. In the evening, he went out for dinner in Park Street. And Park Street always has a one-way traffic. So Mr. Bansal's car wrongly entered a one-way street. So the police sergeant stopped the car. And the driver was told, ye karo, paisa do, license do, jo hota hai. So the driver turned to Mr. Bansal and said, sir, kuch to boliye. So he said, ruko. So he gets out of the car and he goes to the cop. Before even he said anything, the cop says, aap umpire the kya aaj? He said, हाँ. He said, आज के लिए आपके लिए कोलकाता का सब रास्ता खुला हुआ है, चले जाइए. So that was S.K. Bansal in that match in Kolkata, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute joy to have these people on this panel. Oh, fantastic. Put your hands together for Venkatesh Prasad, Harbhajan Singh, and Zahir Khan. May I have two of my friends, Iram Kidwai and Atul Srivastav, on stage, please, for the felicitation. And after that, everyone from the Rev Sports team to come up for a photo op, please. All my colleagues for a photo op, and that's the close of day one. Absolutely enthralling day, I have to say. We started in the morning, fantastic sessions. Shubhan, then you have to take for your recording and we should be done. जिनको ले जाना जहीर को बोल के रखा जहीर को लेके जाओ বেঙ্কিও যাবে হ্যাঁ খুব বলো হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ও আছে কাল পর্যন্ত না যাবে হ্যাঁ আমি বলে রাখছি Should we have your team, Pallavi also? Okay.
Only I wanted to say that no the kind of friendship is still same.
बता दो
नहीं अब तो खैर सब उड़ गए
मतलब सीधे बता दो
आज शायद नहीं होता आज शायद नहीं होता
आज नहीं होता
लेकिन जो वो दोस्ती है वो आज भी वैसी
चलिए अच्छा लगा आप लोग आए Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Very well.
Thank you.
I wanted to mention that वो जो दोस्ती है between two people from Atin
हाँ आइए come
अब हमारा नया
हमारा रूम में थोड़ा बाइक लेना है आपके साथ
नौकरी करो
ये ले लेगा তুই নিয়ে যা আমি বলবো Done? Okay. যা নিয়ে যা No, she said no because they get more, so no.
May we please request
मेरे फोन अच्छा वेंकी और वेंकी
Maybe please request you to allow the panelists to move out